The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the Ejdconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
All righty. It is time, baby. It is time to talk to Omar Kelly and our Ejdconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Call my guy Eric at 305-433-4843. Man, they do it all, whatever it is. Man cave, an extra addition to your house. You want to redo the backyard because you're hanging out more. Call Eric. Great people at Ejdconstruction.com. Omar, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. It's like afternoon for me. I've been up since like 4:30 with my infant.
Okay.
It's like the day is halfway over for me.
So you've had like your second meal already of the day and everything, huh?
I just want to get to the point where we could sleep till 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Six would be nice at least, because at least the sun's coming out and there's a reason to get up. At 4:30, you're like, yo, man, I'm supposed to be getting back from the club at this time.
Listen, they say there's something called like overnight diapers or something like that. I don't know, but she pees at 4:30, and when she does not like being wet and she's up, she's up.
Oh yeah. And they'll let you know. That's the good thing, man. They're going to let you know what they want. And you know what? She'll be doing that for the rest of her life too. That's the thing. So hey, get ready, my man. Get ready. They'll be telling you the entire time. All right. Let's get into obviously the top story, which is X. And I want to run something by you because I ran this by you about a week and a half ago. I don't know if you thought about it while you saw this X deal. And I told you about a week and a half ago, well, what if they just give him some money this year, keep him happy, and then they trade him in the offseason? And right now, I'm cynical as hell. I'm sorry. This business has done it to me. The way they structured this whole thing, and we'll work on the deal next year. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and your money's guaranteed, sure, when the league year starts. So I almost feel like, okay, once the season ends and their playoff run is done, they'll try to then trade him from that point till March, and then let somebody else have to rework that deal. That's the way I'm looking at it more than ever. You tell me.
I think this is a patchwork. This is a push the can down the street situation. X's main priority was getting next year's contract guaranteed. He got that. Getting triggers that would allow him to get above his own teammate.
Right.
He got that. But yes, is there going to be an issue in the future considering he's going to make less than
back to the normal money?
Yeah,
back to his regular deal, which you'll be unhappy with next year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why if you saw X's press conference, it was like, okay, I'm here, I'm done. Let's get to work. Like, this isn't like a celebration of, but ultimately X won, because they walked into the situation in the offseason
he got his money
and basically said, fuck you. And X said, no, fuck you. And then it became a fuck you. And then it became a, okay, let's sit down and let's talk about this. And I give Flores a lot of credit, and I give Steve Ross a lot of credit, because Flores knew he had to make it work, especially after watching that team for the first 2 weeks. If his defense was going to have any chance of working, he needed X. And Steve Ross, I'm sure and certain, he stepped in and said, hey, let's stop the dumb shit.
Right. You're right. And this soundbite kind of tells me a lot of it.
I'm just worried about this year right now, man. I'm taking it 1 year at a time, focus on getting better, helping my team out, the best way to win the game. That's it.
That soundbite right there, that told me that. And I'm sure, and that also tells me that David Cantor told him, all right, we got our deal done for this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, because I know David long enough. He's not going to BS his clients. He's a damn good agent.
Yes.
And so he's going to tell his guy, hey, we got it done, but just so you'll know, it's just this year. We got that problem next year. So, saddle up, get your job done. So one way or another, we get the contract from them or somebody else next year.
If he has a healthy season and he plays to the level that he can play, and he can play at a very high level when he is healthy, yes, it's fair to say, yes, we're going to come back to the table and we're going to reassess the situation, but only if he plays well. And if he plays well, the Dolphins
healthy
plays
stays healthy and stays healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, because if he gets injured this year, they've got, again, it's not guaranteed until the league year starts.
So no. In the language, it's guaranteed. It was restructured.
It's guaranteed if he's on the roster and healthy. If they release him, contract's done. They don't have to pay him. No, yeah, it has to be if he has to be on the roster when the league year starts. That's the way.
When the league year starts. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not cutting X. Come on.
No, but what if he has a devastating knee injury? Is what I'm saying, and then they can get out of the deal. That's kind of the way.
It's guaranteed. Half of it is guaranteed. No, all of it is guaranteed for injury. All of it is guaranteed for injury.
If he's on the roster after the league year starts and he gets injured, he gets that money. But if he gets injured in week 8 of this year, they don't have to pay him next year the money. They can release him, and it's not guaranteed anymore. I'm pretty sure that's how it works out.
I'd have to look at the fine print, but injury guarantee is an injury guarantee. I mean, from what my understanding is.
You are 1,000% right. As long as he's on the roster starting the league year, from that moment on, whatever happens, it's guaranteed. But before that, it's not guaranteed. At least that's the way I understand it. Let's clear that up. We'll clear it up by Friday the next time you're on, and we'll hash over it. All right. So now that he's done, okay, what's the next step now for this team? Is there any other issues that you see?
You talking about business?
Yeah, business wise.
Oh, okay. Let's talk business. Mike Gesicki, are you gonna get him a long-term deal, or just hold the franchise tag over his head all year? Next guy, Emmanuel Ogba.
Wait a minute, but slow down on that one. Slow your roll a second.
Yeah.
Hunter just helped his ass out. I mean, I don't mean to make light of Hunter's injury.
Hunter wasn't ready, and maybe we'd get ready by midseason. Hunter was way behind.
Right, but it's a lingering thing that you could use. Like, hey, we got the future, we got you. Well, right now you don't know if you have any future right now, unfortunately, because the kid got injured, and now you got to definitely count on moi the entire year. So I'm just wondering, how much does this help Gesicki's situation?
I don't know. Gesicki's in a tough situation, and I've always said he's in a tough situation from this standpoint. Technically, he is a tight end. Style-wise, he is a slot receiver. How do you pay him? He does not do tight end work. He does slot receiver work.
Lots of tight ends are like that. Lots of tight ends don't block.
Yeah, but
they're just big giant receivers, is what they are, bro.
And am I paying Gesicki like a big giant receiver, or am I paying him like a tight end? It's a real
Kelsey doesn't block a damn thing. Kittle does.
Stop. I hate when people do that. Kelsey will block. Kelsey does block.
Kittle will block.
Hall of Fame.
No, Kittle will block. Kelsey tries to get in your way.
Okay, Gesicki can't even get in your way. Let's separate it then. If that's how we're gonna separate it, Gesicki can't even get in your way. So, and I like Gesicki. But here's the complicated thing about Gesicki, and I've always we've been discussing this before the draft. Who do you take off the field for Mike Gesicki now? Like, which receiver are you replacing for Mike Gesicki?
I don't know. Well, that's kind of an unanswered question right now, because we have to get to that point where there are four healthy, right? Yeah. And playing well and all that kind of stuff and all that. Like, I feel great about Jalen Waddle, but you got to get Will Fuller on there, and he's got to stay healthy, and Devontae's got to stay healthy, and so there's a pecking order before you take Gesicki off the field. There better be some healthy receivers.
I will say this to you. I will say this to you, and based on what I've seen in the first week of practice, and I think that Mike Gesicki is a very talented, very important player, but I'm not putting him on the field over Albert Wilson. That's just not happening. It's just Albert Wilson on the field is just way too much speed for anybody to handle. You got Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, Albert Wilson, Devontae Parker in the Mike Gesicki role. Like, there's nothing you can do that can defend that.
Yeah. But Omar, you have to have Gesicki out there because because you don't have a 6'6" quarterback. You have a 6-foot quarterback, and you want to give him as many big targets as possible. So if you have an Oompa Loompa quarterback and an Oompa Loompa wide receiver in a giant world, you make it that much harder on everybody.
Those Oompa Loompas are fast, man. Those Oompa Loompas are fast.
Well, they better be fast, but you know what I'm saying. Big receivers help out a lot.
It's a red zone thing.
Whether it's Rondé Gadsden, whether it's Devontae Parker, whether it's Mike Gesicki, and it doesn't matter what quarterback it is. Even if you're Dan Marino, you want to break every once in a while where you could just throw it up to somebody and they're going to outleap somebody. So the bigger targets and all that kind of stuff, I think Gesicki can do things that Albert Wilson just the God-given ability. They didn't give him 6'5", so he can't do the things that Gesicki can do at times, and he can make life easy for a quarterback. You know what I mean?
I will say something, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, but you know I'm not scared to say popular opinions. Mike Gesicki did not practice all week. Did miss him, not one drop, and didn't even think about it. You know,
but he's already arrived. But he's already arrived too. So it's not like you're like, oh man, we need to see if he improves.
Yeah.
You have more question marks on other guys. You don't have any question marks on Gesicki. Gesicki's a baller.
I'm just saying in terms of tight end productivity, tight ends in there. I don't think tight ends have that much of a heavy role in this offense as it's constructed. And I'm curious that the inline guys do, but the other guys like. I'm curious. I got to see how.
Yeah, but they really haven't shown us. They haven't shown us their cards yet because it's 2 new coordinators, so we don't know how they really think yet. You know what I mean? This is their offense.
I've seen enough practices to know their cards. They have their style is RPO based. It's a build. Don't think this is a whole new offense. No, this is a build on what they did last year, tinkering it to Tua's strengths. Right. And Gaskins' strengths and the limitations of the backs. It's a very interesting offense, and I think it will be a potentially good offense. They have way too many playmakers for you to stick with. And I will say this: if Waddle is healthy and fine, there's no way you can defend this offense. And if the O-line protects, there's just too much speed. You like no matter where you go, somebody's got a one-on-one and they're behind their receiver. I mean, they're behind their cornerback. And a safety can only help somebody, one guy. And like how that defense scored, it really is going to create nightmares for opposing defenses. Because
I mean, you know, it's fun. It's a lot of fun if you can put Fuller, Waddle, Wilson and Jakeem out there.
Oh, stop it! Stop! Why'd you do that? Why did you just do that?
I had to, bro, because I knew it would get in your craw, bro. But I mean, hey, he's playing well, all right. So give the kid a break. He's catching everything inside. I'm just saying,
let's just talk him up so we can get that.
You
trade,
put 4 Blazers.
Let's talk him up so we can get that trade stock up. They need an offensive tackle. Jakeem for an offensive tackle. Remember when I said that to you? Jakeem for an offensive tackle.
4 Blazers on the field. How in the hell do you stay with that? That would be amazing.
Isaiah Ford has made way more plays than Jakeem Grant, and props to Jakeem Grant. So no, Isaiah Ford has been. I'm
an Isaiah Ford fan, but you know, you're just like, man, you give Jakeem no love whatsoever, and he deserves love. Everybody else is giving him love in camp.
You know what it is. You know what it is. This is a Curtis Johnson. For those who know my time at covering the University of Miami, Curtis Johnson is probably the best receiving coach that has ever walked this earth. He's got Hall of Famers. He's got legends that he's coached. He's now coaching the Saints wide receivers. And Curtis Johnson said, number 1 rule of wide receiver, got to catch that ball. If it's a 50-50, a doubt in my mind that you're not going to catch that ball, I'm not putting you on the field because the quarterback's not going to throw it to you.
Right.
That's where we are. And I will give Jakeem props, praise, kudos.
He deserves it.
He is playing better He is practicing better. He's catching punch with one hand because he's holding another ball. He's showing you I put in that work, but you know what? He's still receiver number 7.
Damn, that's rough, bro. That's rough. All right, Jalen Waddle, limp or no limp? What's the deal?
I hate that there is an injury. There is a soft tissue issue. When you, as a professional, when you have an issue and you play and practice on that issue, other muscle parts try to compensate for that issue. And now it appears he's got a calf issue. I'm just guessing because he's wearing a compression sleeve. He's not, think about it this way. For those who say he's fully healthy, completely healthy, why didn't he work out before the draft?
No, it'll take a whole year was Tua healthy last year when he was playing?
No,
of course not. Now when you watch him, you can tell that he's healthy and the core is healthy at that point.
Yeah,
he wasn't healthy last year.
Is Jalen Waddle fast as hell at 80, 85%? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is the final 2 practices, when he started wearing that compression sleeve, the speed has gone down, the reps are going down, the punt returns lost some of that sizzle, and that's my thing now. He has to be that dynamically quick player, and he's going to push through, and he's going to keep practicing because that's his nature, and he's a tough guy, and he's trying to prove that, hey, none of this stuff is going to limit me. But I got eyes, man. I've been doing this for 20-something years. I know what I'm looking at.
Well, maybe, and it looks like from what you're telling me, what we're probably looking at is a way that they're going to have to pace him now to the start of the season, where they will have to limit his reps, give him some rest, give him some days off. Also, maybe he doesn't practice on a consecutive basis. Things like that. They may have to do stuff like that.
Yeah, people have to understand wide receivers and cornerbacks, they're the ones who get injured the most during training camp just because they do so much running. There's constant, nonstop running. So even Albert Wilson's on a modified program right now. Devontae's every other day. Obviously, you see Will Fuller shut it down. He's not even going to play in the season opener. So his clock or even, starts further. I don't expect him to practice probably till the second exhibition game. Preston Williams probably going to begin the year on a PUP. And that's just a wise move because it allows them to stash him until he's fully healthy. I don't see any reason why you can't make it through the season opener with Devontae, Albert Wilson. And to be honest with you, Mac Hollins has done well. Mac Hollins has been a starter since Will Fuller's been gone. Starter. And hasn't been unseated, and he's practiced well. So
and he's a stud special teamer.
Exactly, he's a stud special teamer.
He definitely is in the mix in the back end of that receiving core. Because
the starters that ended the week were Mac Hollins and Isaiah Ford, and I can tell you right now, without a doubt, both of those guys earned those opportunities.
Yeah.
People can say whatever they want about these fringe guys and their talent level or what they're capable of. But Brian Flores, the one thing he has always done is if you earn it, you're going to get it. And those guys are out there working with the ones because they earn those opportunities.
Somebody's saying, do we have the most fragile wide receiving core in the history of the NFL?
Which is why you're going to carry 9. You are going to carry 9 into the season. It is what it is. And understand that when they carried this super deep wide receiving core, I was like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? This doesn't make any sense. But then when you look at training camp last year and how they just got watered down by injuries, and then the receiving core was trash and the practices were trash, you sit there and you say, hey, they learned from their mistake last year. And now they got 2 NFL wide receiving units. Like they are legitimately 10 deep, at least.
And you're listening, of course, and you can see it there. If not, you're listening to the Ejdconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. We do it every Monday and every Friday here on the show all year long, so don't miss it. Make sure you subscribe to the program so you can catch it, and when you can get the notification when it's up. Don't forget, of course, to smash the like button while you're watching or listening this segment. Appreciate all of you out there with the support. All right, the O-line.
Hold on. Let me just go through this receiving unit real quick with you. Albert Wilson, top performer week 1. Will Fuller, you know who he is. You know what he does. Lindbaum Jr.
Top performer in the training room.
Lindbaum Jr. has not done a thing. So he's in the danger zone. Alan Hearns had some decent practices, hot and cold.
So we had a good LBJ with the Heat, and we got a sorry LBJ here with the Dolphins.
Listen,
all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Malcolm Perry, toast. Practice squad. Robert Foster, he's bald. He's played well. He belongs on a 53-man roster.
Foster on the roster. Foster on the roster. All right, go ahead.
That wasn't bad. Jakeem Grant, pleasant surprise.
Statue outside the stadium. I mean, it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be a statue of Jakeem scoring a touchdown and Omar in the background writing about it. That's it. That's
Jakeem is your number 1 trade commodity. Go get a piece that you need for Jakeem. I said it. I remember you heard it here first.
Omar will be doing the induction ceremonies at the Hall of Fame in 20 years for Jakeem. He'll be doing it. Go ahead.
I'll be the inspiration. I'll be the hater who always never believed in him. Isaiah Ford, bald this week. If I gave Albert Wilson top performer last week, Isaiah Ford's got to be top performer this week. Just came out of nowhere and bald. Then you got Kurt Merritt. A lot of guys love him. Think he's a
caught a touchdown yesterday. Yeah, caught a touchdown yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't see who caught that touchdown. So I'm glad you pointed that out. Mac Hollins is starter, best special teams player. Legit, got speed, got size.
Second best.
Who's the best?
Jakeem Grant, of course. Come on, what's wrong with you? The guy that gives you field position. The guy that flips the field, as the coach says.
All right, Mac Hollins is the second best special teams performer.
There you go.
You gonna bust my balls about Jakeem till he's gone.
Every day.
Gone.
Every day.
I got what, 3 weeks?
Oh God! Come on!
It's true. He's gonna be traded. I know it.
Oh, they're gonna keep him, bro. He flips the field, man. Come on! He's gonna score like 5 touchdowns this year in special teams alone, and 5 more as a receiver, just to piss you off. At the end of the year, you're gonna go. Jakeem has 10 touchdowns. That's right, Omar. What are you gonna do? You got his, presentation ready for the Hall of Fame, or what? Come on.
God, I can't even imagine if he scores 10 touchdowns.
Would be awesome. You're in the AFC Championship game if he does that. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
They're deep. They're deep at receiver, and props to them. It was a smart move. I would argue to you, deepest receiving core Dolphins have had in 20 years.
Oh yeah,
at least.
May not be the best receiving core they've had, but definitely the deepest that they've had in a long, long time. And they've done a really smart job with that. All right. So how do we look at the O-line? Because I'm still kind of confused, and I'm sure they're still baffled because they can't settle on 5 yet, that they'd love to have the best 5 out there.
I think they've settled on 5. No question.
You think so? You think they're already settled?
Liam is probably the right guard unless he moves this week in practice. And Jesse Davis is the right tackle till the wheels fall off. And Jesse says it's just soreness, but you know what that means.
So you have Dieter locked in at center then for sure then. Everything that's happened, it looks like he's not going to
hasn't even sniffed first team reps. Okay. Dieter has solo dolo handled first team reps,
which is great.
Yeah, a lot of people stuck a fork in him, thought he was a goner, thought he was dead. Nah, Dieter's still living, Dieter's still kicking, and
you got to give linemen time, bro. You got to give linemen time.
I never gave up on Dieter. I never gave up on. Like there are a lot of guys I give up on. Dieter is not one of them. Solomon Kinley and Matt Skura and Adam Pankey are the 3 backups. And that really is where you are. Is it a comfortable spot? Probably not. I'm pretty sure they're out shopping now for offensive tackle help. They need more offensive tackles. And
are you impressed with anybody on the 5?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. All right.
Robert
Hunt.
Hunt. if I'm gonna praise somebody, Robert Hunt's gotten that right guard job down, and he moves people. And I'm gonna be interested to see him in this joint practice this week.
All right, injury-wise, who do we expect to miss this joint practices this week? Because by the way, X, I mean, he really came back strong from that ankle injury. He looked good on the field. Looked good. I mean, I was about to pick on the Dolphins. They should have brought him back slowly from an ankle injury, but they just rushed him back onto the field like that. That was just so irresponsible.
He's still pacing himself. He cherry picks drills. So and honestly, X got himself ready last season. X, I'm not worried about X. X is going to get himself ready for the regular season. The thing is, they got to practice him more there, or add another cornerback, because Jason McCourty, he don't want to play cornerback. He's like, no, I didn't come here to play cornerback. I didn't come here to chase these young guys.
Yeah, but you got two young guys that are kind of showing some stuff, right? The Thrill kid and the other kid you talked about.
Trill. You took Trill Williams and
the other kid. What's his name? They're kind of showing you some, right? They're fighting for the back end of that cornerback roster,
I would
right?
say Trill is Nick Needham. Nick Needham's doing okay.
No, the other kid. Who's the other kid? I got to look it up now. What's the name of the other kid that's actually playing all right, man?
Who you talking? You're talking about not Justin Coleman.
No.
Terrell Bonds.
Bonds, yes, Bonds. That's the kid. Yeah, supposedly he's showing a little some too.
Hot and cold. It's 13.
But those guys may not be the better option than moving the safety over, who's completely uncomfortable and not confident of doing it.
I mean, considering, the bombs have stopped. The bombs have stopped for a number of reasons, but they have stopped. You could say Jason McCourty. You could say Noah's demotion is contributing to it. Jason McCourty's elevation, because Tua eventually got to the point where he's picking on Noah. It just, and as all quarterbacks should. Like, you see a weak link, you go after it.
Right. So it's the only way he's going to learn too. He needs to learn that way too, the hard way. So there's nothing wrong with that either. It's good for both. While it might be degrading for the other kid, but mistakes are the way you learn. You know what I mean? So I've always said success is fed off of failure. That's the way it is for everybody, dude, because everybody fails before they succeed. So that's the only way you get to success, is by failing. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan got kicked off his junior varsity basketball team, and then, he's hitting the biggest shot for North Carolina to win their title. And so, that's just that's part of the process.
LeBron lost championships before he actually won some. I guess so. I'm still a Noah fan. I think he's got tons of talent and ability. It's just, to me, the mental part of three guys got the demotion to third team last week. Skura, Kinley, and Noah.
Okay.
And, think about it. Think about how tough that is to digest. Like, you're going to your coaches, hey, man, I know you were running with the ones, or I know you were running with the twos, but I'm going to have you in third team. I'm going to have you third team this week. And, just work your way out. Just keep grinding. And Kinley did work, grind, got back to the second team. Skura did work, grind, got back to the second team. Noah's still there in the third team. And, that's got to be hard. That I really want to write and talk about that. Like, the mental, people don't realize how mentally grueling that stuff is. Like, I remember, by
the way, when you do write that, I want you to include in this, because we can't have it both ways. We can't call it a deep receiving core and then think that the third team guy is really weak. The third team receiver is actually pretty damn strong. So you're not really facing a guy that is not going to be on the team. You're probably facing an NFL receiver that's going to be on somebody else's team.
No, because of injuries, third team receivers practice squad material. So let's not go there. He's basically
named like 9 guys. So
but he's working third team receivers. You're just left with the practice squad unit, because the first team has to. The first team is not practicing.
Matt Collins is third team.
No, Matt Collins is first. See, that's where you're wrong. Matt Collins is first team. Because
of all the injuries, you're saying? That's why.
Matt Collins has been first team since like week 1. Since since day 2, first team. And people don't respect Mike Collins. He goes out there and he plays. He practices.
No, no, I like Matt Collins.
Matt Collins has roasted Byron Jones a number of times.
He just doesn't have, you know, the track record of all those other guys in front of him. That's all it is. But what Dolphin fan doesn't like Matt Collins, dude?
I like Matt Collins.
He's a total Flores type guy because he's kicking ass on special teams and playing wide receiver for you. And he had a big catch in that Raiders game. You know, that shows he's got a little moxie too to him. You know what I'm saying? I like Matt Collins. I just view him like you do. It's such a deep receiving core that it's hard for him to fight for playing time if everybody's healthy in front of him, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So who's gonna miss the Chicago workouts? For sure it's going to be Fuller. Hunter, does it look like it's really that bad? It looked really, really bad, like ACL type.
I've never seen somebody get carted off and then come back. Just my personal experience.
No, that's not true. Paul Pierce, bro. Come on. He got wheelchaired off. Come on, bro.
That's wheelchair. Nah, when they bring out the card, it's a done deal. Usually
when they bring out a wheelchair, you're like done for sure, bro. Like,
wow. Brandon Jones has an ankle. Albert Wilson to me is a little bit of an iffy situation because he's battling a soft tissue issue. Andrew Van Giegel came back. We'll see. I would take it very cautiously with that one. Jalen Phillips, I don't think he's going to practice. If he does, it'll be a pleasant surprise. Let me think. You got me. The back.
How concerned are you about Jalen Phillips falling behind a little bit because he's not getting a lot of practice time?
He showed me week 1. He's gonna be playing with the training wheels on at the beginning of the season. He's got it. He's got it. He's not going to play as well as he'll play at the end of the season. But he's got what you need. But then there's a Brandon Scarlett kid that they added in free agency. Ooh, pressure player. He had a very strong week. If I had to give a guy like the props for the second week come up, it's Brandon Scarlett, and he looks like he's going to be able to help you as a pass rusher.
Running backs, how's that breaking down right now?
Two are injured right now. Ahmed, and then 3. Ahmed's injured, Scarlett's injured, and Malcolm Brown is injured. Malcolm came back, and he's really just the inside goal line tough yard runner. So, we'll see. But I think the key is to not get Myles Gaskin hurt. That's it. As long as Myles Gaskin is hurt, you're good to go.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right about that. I mean, he's the guy that we're excited about because he was playing so well last year before the injury. And then now you're hoping that the line gets better. I know the QB is going to be fine. I don't have any worries about the QB like others do. I think he's going to ball out overall. But if that line is healthy, Gaskin can have a really good year overall, man. I'm really excited about Myles Gaskin this year. I am. Which sounds crazy because it's not like he's an established running back, but I really love what I saw from that kid last year.
92 yards a game last season. Like, how do you turn your nose up at that? 92 yards a game.
No, you can't. All right. Overall, Tua, what do you think about this second week? Good?
Bad practice yesterday. Troubling that in situational...
the back-to-back INTs you're talking about?
Back-to-back INTs in a situational drill where your team is trailing and you got to hurry your team down the field to put them in a position to score. Both his first passes were cherry-picked by the safeties. That was troubling. And I had always been waiting, watching, looking to see if that arm starts to take a downward swing. And we're kind of at that pivot point right now.
Oh, you're talking about the dead arm camp stuff is what you're talking about? You're worried about?
Yeah. I mean, he's got to throw, I would say, 200 passes per practice at 2 weeks of practice. So we're kind of at that point now where you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. And the interceptions, they were bad. They weren't like, oh, great play by these safeties. No, the ball just hung up in the air way too long.
And by the way, speaking of safeties, Javon is making an impact right away, right? He looks like that dude already, right?
I'm not gonna give him that dude label, but he looks like the young player that's trending upwards.
Right. But what I mean by that dude is that you can see what they saw in him and why they think he's going to be that impactful player back there and make that what they wanted from Minkah, that they're hoping that they're going to get from him. Wait, what? Why you got to put that face? He does everything on the damn field. The kid, that's what they wanted from Minkah. The same kind of thing. The Swiss Army knife crap.
No, that's not fair. What Minkah wanted to be the free safety and not do that Swiss Army knife crap.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That they're letting
Javon be the free safety. And if you're gonna ask me who I'm gonna pick Minkah. Javon
already. Yes, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, and not to say that I was the biggest Minkah fan. Minkah just clearly did not like his role, which I got it. He couldn't cover tight ends, didn't want to do it. And it's not for everybody. But Javon, I haven't seen him do enough yet. I get what they were doing early. They were like, hey, let's try you this, try you that. Let's do this, let's do that. Let's limit what you do with free safety so that you can digest it and be able to process it all. Now he's processing it all. He's doing the free safety job. That's just it. But I will say he's playing probably half a second slower than he should. And there's no harm in that. He's a young player who's never seen real action.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, overall, that's what I'm impressed is that for a young guy, he's already making a nice transition.
It's funny.
And there's a lot of thinking going on back there in that position.
It's funny that you say, because I always have contextual comparisons of things I've seen in the past. And you got to understand, I covered Antrel Roll and Sean Taylor. So, that's and Ed Reed. So at UM. So that's up there. In the NFL, I really liked Ronaldo Hill. I thought he was very good safety for Miami. And I'm not talking about the Rashad Jones, the strong safety. I'm talking about the deep safety. It shouldn't be that hard of a position to fill, but it is a hard position from a leadership standpoint. So I'm more worried about the leadership, the diagnosing, the play calling, everybody sewing it together, being on the same page, more so than I am, he's a playmaker.
Yeah. Hey, listen, in the end, his job is a lot easier now because they signed a dude that he only has to worry about 2/3 of the field now. So, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, Javon Holland's game is a lot easier now because he's got that dude over there. X
would like help sometime. That's what people don't understand.
You don't need help. You don't need help. But Sam Madison and Pat Surtain weren't ever saying, help me, help me. Darrelle Revis doesn't say, help me. No, they love being on their islands so they can have all the interceptions to themselves.
When he's got Hopkins one-on-one with no safety help, he wants some help. He wants some help.
Ask Sam Madison when he's got to cover Eric Moulds. I mean, you deal with what you got to deal with, bro. The monster's in front of you. You got to play the monster. You know what I'm saying?
Eric Moulds and DeAndre Hopkins are two different animals. And Stephon Diggs, different animals.
They're all badasses in their own right. They were all bad mofos in their own right, bro. Eric Moulds was a big deer, okay? A big, giant deer. That's tough, bro. 6'5" and can just run like a deer. That's I don't know if he was 6'5". He was like 6'3", 6'4", but he was a huge guy that could run, man. That was a hell of a player in his day. Anything else? Go ahead.
I want to ask you, did you look at the first year Hall of Fame ballot induction guys that are upcoming?
No, why? What's your question?
My thought process is if Zach can't get in this year,
I
don't know if he's ever going to get in because really,
I know it. Yeah.
There's 4 receivers. All of them should have to wait technically because Reggie still isn't in. Reggie's been in line. You know how this
a hell of a class that just went in this weekend. This is a great class. God.
Then you got DeMarcus Ware and you got Vince Wilfork, who I think both those guys should be first ballot Hall of Famers. But other than that, the coast is clear. Tony Romo, I don't even think he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh no, I mean, his numbers. It's kind of like Dwight Howard. Like, as much as you dislike Dwight Howard, his numbers are Hall of Fame numbers. And Tony Romo, as much as I don't buy him in a big game ever, that's the problem. His numbers are going to be Hall of Fame numbers, but I wouldn't put him in myself either. But it is what it is. What are you going to do, man?
If Zach doesn't make it in
this year. Yeah, it's a crime that Zach is not. But then again, look, the Marx brothers are out, and it's all because of the one cocaine issue that each of them had. It wasn't like they were on one of Billy Corbin's features where they were drug lords or anything. Yeah, they had a slip up, whatever, bro. Let it go already. They're both Hall of Fame or wide receivers. Their numbers are better than several wide receivers that are in the Hall of Fame, and they're not in that.
I gotta look at that.
Yeah, look it up. They dwarf Lynn Swann's numbers. Okay, but Lynn Swann was in all those big games, winning championships, and that makes it. But that's not to say Mark Clayton would have made the same catches that Lynn Swann made and put up big ass numbers too. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. It's so unfair, man. And the Marx brothers and Zach all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. It's a shame.
I don't know about the Marx brothers. No offense to anybody who's a Marx brothers fan.
Well, you're a youngin. You didn't live it, so it's all right.
I lived that era, but I don't know if I would make them Hall of Famers. But
hell yeah. Mark Clayton. Let me explain something to you. Mark Clayton was number 2 in the NFL behind Jerry Rice. When Mark Clayton was playing his ball in the 80s, there was only one receiver better than him because he's better than everybody ever, and that's Jerry Rice. Outside of that, Mark Clayton was the second best receiver during that era. Nobody else could touch him. The guy was a monster, bro. Monster.
Okay.
Great player, man. He doesn't get enough credit for how great he was. An athlete, a freak athlete, nasty, can slam, can squat like 500 pounds. Man, Mark Clayton was a beast, dude. Okay? And go look at his height, and he's squatting 500 pounds. Guy's a monster, bro. I'm telling you. He was awesome. Awesome. All right, safe travels to Chicago. All right?
And
all right.
We'll talk to you on Friday.
Yes, we will catch up on Friday, my friend. Thank you very much, as always. Appreciate you.
All right. Talk to you later.
You got it.
You've been listening to the Ejdconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Ejdconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Thank Omar Kelly, as always.